You're tuned into the Barrage Sports Show. Yo ho, what's up everybody? This is the Barrage Sports Show. I'm one of your hosts, the dad, Mike B.
Mike Burr.
April Barrage, and let's get it cracking today. We got to talk about Naomi Osaka essentially deciding to withdraw from the French Open, citing mental health reasons, and the pressure that the French Open was applying to her to try to make her talk to the media.
What'd you think about that, Mike B?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy situation, but I think Naomi, you got to put your mental health above everything, and she made that choice. Obviously we know a lot of players have been, I think it kind of started in the NBA with, Kyrie and some of the Nets players have been vocal about, how the media treats them and how it's a distraction from the game. But we understand the business of sports too, right? The media is the reason why the players can make millions of dollars, why the owners can make billions of dollars. And in tennis, why the players can make millions and get millions in endorsements is because the media makes them worldwide, superstars, right? That's how you sell tickets, jerseys, and all the things of the business. So, but we're in a new era trying to balance those two things. And I think Naomi made a wise choice. If you're not mentally up to it, it's her right to sit out. And, I think the French Open put in pressure on her saying, she has to play or she could potentially, they were going to not let her play anyway.
It's going to DQ her?
Yeah, they were trying to disqualify her anyway. So she kind of took power in her own hands, said, you know what, it's not even worth it. So I think it was kind of a power move in that way.
Yeah, and mental health issues, let me say this. If you know someone who's ever dealt with mental health issues like depression or some other thing like that, it can really get bad. And the results can get really bad.
Yeah.
So forget the tennis tournament. And what I mean by that is I'm glad she identified that she's dealing with some mental health issues. She's dealing with depression so she can get help. Because if you're my age, I'm in my 50s. Everybody in my age knows at least someone who was dealing with the mental health issue, especially something like depression, and they took a turn for the worse or made a really bad decision. So in the big scheme of things, to me, in the big picture, forget the tennis tournament. I know, the WTA and, the sponsors of the French Open and all the corporations are really mad, but I'm just so happy she's identifying it, and I hope she can get the treatment and get the help because I want to see Osaka around for a long time. She's a great player, great personality, great for the sport. She has a wonderful bio being half Japanese, half Haitian, but I want her to be here. So I'm glad she identified what she needs to work on. I really do.
Yeah, so I'm just going to actually have to disagree with you, Mike, kind of about, especially in tennis, in terms of like the media makes the stars. Because, I'm a former tennis player, played in college, and so I grew up watching the sport. As soon as the matches are over, yes, they do like a mini press conference on the court that lasts 2 minutes. But unlike the NBA and NFL, they don't even air the press conference that they have once they go back under the tunnel to the general public. It's on to the next match. Since it's an individual sport, I think it's a different type of grace and understanding that these organizations have to have in terms of like a press conference, because the big press conference that she didn't want to do, they don't even air on TV, not even on the tennis channel. As soon as the match is over, it's on to the next match on that same court. So it's just kind of like, I get it with like the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball, hockey. Those are team sports. And then people are so interested in the press conferences that they show them on TV. Tennis, the press conferences, it's all about trying to get in the player's head. And this is an individual sport. They ask some of the dumbest questions. And then sometimes there was there was a viral clip last week. A Polish player, male tennis player, was asked to, like, hey, they wanted you in a press conference. There's press that wants to ask you questions. And he's like, okay. He sits there, and first they had, okay, we're doing English questions. Anybody have a question in English? None of the journalists had a question for him. They're like, okay, we're going to do Polish journalists. Nobody had a question for him. And the person was like, okay, this is weird because you were requested to do this press conference. Mm-hmm. So the tennis press conferences are at a lot of time a waste of time. So I kind of understand where Naomi was coming from. And I don't understand what the French Open was trying to do with trying to force her to do it, because the press conference, they talk about nothing. Like, if you've seen like maybe clips of like Serena and Venus, most of the time they're just clapping back at the reporters. Or like when Serena's really good friend Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, they were asking her questions about what they did after the wedding, and Serena's like, I'm not talking about that. Like, I want to get back to the match because it's a one-on-one sport. You can't rely on your teammates. You don't get to sit out and take a break because you need to rest. And it's just a waste of time. So I think it's unfortunate that it had to be a point where Naomi had to drop out because the French Open was pressuring her and bullying her. Yeah, I said it, bullying her to talk. And I think that's why she made the decision, which was the best decision for her, to leave. But I think if the French Open didn't bully her, I think she would have been able to continue to play if she was just left alone and to pay the fine that she actually was willing and agreed to.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, because it's not like she said, she didn't come with some crazy riff or something personal like, I'm just mad at somebody, or I just don't want to be bothered. She was talking about a disability.
Right.
And we're supposed to, in our modern society, we're supposed to make accommodations for people with disabilities, whether it's a physical disability or mental disability. So if they could have talked it out. Now, I saw like a representative on TV of the French Open who said they were trying to reach out to her, but she wasn't accessible. I don't know how true that is. But if they would have said, look, okay, you're dealing with a disability, mental health. We're going to fine you, but we are grateful you're still going to play. Because she still was going to play. And you have to accommodate people when they have disabilities in our modern society. So I think if they could have, and I don't know who's guilty, whether she wasn't talking with them or they weren't talking to her, or maybe both parties. But if they could have just sat down and talked it out, I think they would have had a very good solution where it's a win-win on both sides. Okay, we have to fine you. That's the rules. But we are grateful you're still playing because, you're the best player in the world right now. But it just seemed like one of the two sides, and I can't accuse, I don't know if it was Naomi, I don't know if it was the head of the French Open, took hard lines. And so she did the right thing. Nothing is more valuable than your sanity. Nothing is more valuable than your life. And she stepped down. Plus, she doesn't need the money. It's not like she's in a desperate situation. She made $37.4 million last year. She was on Forbes' list as the highest paid female athlete, passing Serena. So she's not hurting for money. So you might as well be healthy so you can enjoy all that money that you made anyway. Because health is wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And April, thanks for clarifying. It seems like the tennis media press is even more useless than other sports.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just to clarify, Naomi said when she announced that she withdraws, she said that she actually wrote privately to the tournament apologizing and saying that she would be more than happy to speak with them after the tournament as the slams are intense. So again, they just kind of bullied her. And since we're on the quest of mental health, let's talk about these crazy NBA fans. What's going on? Is this some type of like COVID, like post-COVID, like I'm outside of the house so I don't know how to act, so I'm going to run out on the court to try to take a picture with Dwight Howard. I'm going to throw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving. I'm going to throw popcorn at Russell Westbrook. I'm going to spit at Trae Young.
No, I don't want to make any excuses for these fans. I mean, the guy running on the court, that's one thing. We see that happens all the time. But when you're throwing something at somebody, especially a full water bottle from 30, 40 feet in the air, that's assault. You could seriously injure somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're pouring popcorn on somebody's head. You're spitting on somebody. That's spitting on somebody is also assault. These fans should be put in jail. They deserve to be jail time. They deserve fines. It's been white fans spitting, throwing stuff at black players. And it reminds you of Jackie Robinson. It reminds you of a lot of bad things, but it's 2021 and it's a crime and they should be put in jail.
Well, let me kind of break down the April went over them. I'm going to do all 6. I want to do a little ranking. Which one you think is the most crazy? Okay, here we go. Listen up. The 76er fan threw popcorn on Russell Westbrook. All right. A Knicks fan spit at Trae Young. Didn't hit him, but he spit at him. Then you have a Celtic fan threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving. And he was kind of far up. He really launched that sucker. A fan ran on the court during Game 4, the 76ers Wizards game, and security had to tackle him. Then you have Ja Morant's family was harassed by the Jazz fans with racist and sexual insults. Now, one thing I will say, I like what the Utah owner did. He comped Ja Morant's whole family, put them up for the night, took care of them, fed them, did really, a lot of good damage control. And then you got the Knicks, Emmanuel Quixie, someone threw beer on him at Madison Square Garden. He plays for the Knicks.
Wow.
Out of those 6 things, which one you think is the most crazy if you had to rank number 1 of craziness?
Yeah, I'll tell you my thought process.
Okay.
To me, it's between 2 of them. Obviously what happened to Ja Morant is bad. They said some messed up stuff, but those are just words. I mean, you shouldn't say them. There's no excuse, but still. So it has to be one of the physical ones for me.
Okay.
And it's between the spitting and the water bottle. Spitting is just, 2 grown men. If you spit on another grown man, that's just the ultimate disrespect. And, Trae Young should have an opportunity to meet him in the alley or something. but I think the water ball is the worst one because, that fan, he was 30, 40 feet above him.
Yeah.
Throwing a full water bottle. If you took physics 101, if that would have hit Kyrie Irving in the eye or on the face, that could have actually been a serious injury.
It could have been.
You throw a full water bottle at somebody, so that to me that was super bad, and he is like facing criminal charges for that because that is actually really dangerous. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. What about you, April? Which one would you rank as the worst crazy?
I think they're all equally crazy. I really do because all of it's disrespectful. All of it has some form of, to me, racism in it. Kyrie Irving actually spoke out about like, okay, I'm going back to Boston. Hopefully we just can stick to basketball. I have to deal with like racial slurs and like the antagonizing from the fans, at a racial level. I don't even think the players mind like trash talking from the fans. It's fun. Let's go. Like, okay, you know what I mean? That's the fun part of it. But when you take it to racial throwing things, I think that's all bad because the reason why I rank them the same is because they're catching these players off guard.
Yeah.
You're walking back to the locker room and something is thrown your way.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know how fast the person throws it, how heavy it is. Getting spat at is just gross. Somebody running out on the court, that's crazy as well. You're antagonizing somebody's family, harassing them. This is not, it's like, what is this? It's 2021. Even if people have these like crazy like racial issues, good and well to stay at home because it's unacceptable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's
true.
just kind of like, to me, I think it's just all bad. And I'm hopefully with the fan getting charged with assault and battery with the weapon, that this slows it down.
Yeah. Because
we don't want to. It's just already so much going on. Like that just takes the fun out of it. And that's just very unsafe for the players and for anybody too, even anyone in the crowd.
Yeah, because he could have missed Kyrie and hit somebody else.
Right? Exactly.
Well, he
So
did miss him.
we don't want this to turn into some of the issues that you see in soccer a lot of times, where people are throwing bananas at the black soccer players.
Soccer hooligans.
Yeah.
One thing I can say about soccer hooligans, they have a racial element. They have a gang element. They go at anybody. If you go to some soccer over in Europe and you have on the wrong jersey on the wrong side, you could be from their same neighborhood. It could be a lot of trouble. Soccer hooligans are real. I watched a few videos. I'll never forget this, a few years ago, and some guys got on like the wrong train, and it wasn't the train for their team, because they're very loyal, and they had a bad day. They didn't kill them or nothing, but they got a little whip. They took a little whipping because that team wasn't supposed to, especially after games, be on that train, but they didn't know, and the teams they supported, and it didn't turn out good. Yeah, so.
And before we kind of move on, I just wanted to pose a question about this.
Okay.
Just imagine if groups of black fans showed up to an MLB game and started throwing stuff at the white players. Yeah. How do you think the MLB will react? How do you think the legal system will react? And so I just want that just that mental kind of exercise. Obviously, I don't want anybody to do anything like that, but just the mental exercise. And now look at the reverse of that. What's going on with the NBA? It's just sad to see.
It really is.
Yeah, that's true. It's just kind of like, we don't need to turn this into something soccer. They're trying to work on that. We don't want it to be like that where they're doing monkey chants and all that. So I'm hopefully with someone getting charged, now you gotta get arranged, go through the court system and all that. Hopefully it gets these fans to be like, okay, if you're racist, stay home.
I agree. and you know what, I do want to say this. I'm glad to see the fans back because they are rocking. The ones who acting with some sense, which is everybody else in the stadium,
right? 99% of them.
99.9%. They are really rocking. It's really added that atmosphere to the games. And 99.9% of them are out there just to have fun.
Right.
They happy to be back. They're enthusiastic. They're pushing their teams. I love it. The stars are coming out. New York had so many stars in the stands. Atlanta has stars in the stands. The Lakers, we couldn't really see them. They still got a lot of restrictions, but it was just good to have the fans back. Unfortunately, a few knuckleheads are just trying to put a little dark cloud over it for the other thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. So,
yeah, and so the NBA playoffs are kicking and rolling.
Yeah, some
people are out. I think I was the most shocked about the Heat. They got swept.
Well, if you've been following them this year, they've been struggling. Injuries and they very much look like a Cinderella team. They had that magical run last year, but this season they kind of came back down to earth. And I think Milwaukee got a lot better too. They knew they got upset last year, and they were the favorites to come out the East. So I think they put their foot on their neck, and they didn't want to repeat, and they handled business. And I think the guys they added, Drew Holiday especially, really changed the series this time around.
Yeah, I mean that's playing Milwaukee is a tough first round match.
Yeah,
that was a tough first round match, and they got abused. They really did get abused. And now you got Denver. As of this podcast, you got Denver against Portland. Dame Dollar put on a show the other night in a double overtime thriller
with an L
55, but he lost again. So they're down 3-2. Portland is down 3-2.
Come to the Lakers, Dame.
Right. That's what. But you know what? I read something that they say he might, after this season, try to force his way out of Portland to go to either Lakers or Golden State. I don't know how true that is, but that was just out there. And then you have Phoenix. They're up 3-2 on your team, Mike. Your Lakers.
See ya. Bye, Lakers.
I'm giving up. It's over.
You think so?
Yeah. AD is hurt. LeBron isn't 100%. In game 5, Both of the starting guards had 0 points. I mean, it's just not our year. We should have kept Rondo and JaVale and Dwight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, April, I'll ask you first. So tonight, as of the podcast, Denver's up 3-2 over Portland. Phoenix up 3-2 over the Lakers. Will
The
Portland
Clippers.
and will the Lakers be home
Clippers.
by the time we by the time we by the time we
Because we got three
What?
3-2 series. We got the Clippers, Dallas, then Denver, Portland, and Phoenix, LA.
Right. Yeah, so that game is tonight as well? The
Yep.
Clipper game?
No, they played last night, so they play.
Right. I was
Oh,
just
my
talking
bad,
about
my
the
bad.
games tonight.
Yeah.
So will the Lakers and will Portland be at home? What you think, April T? By the time we air this podcast.
So I think tonight, Lakers see you. I think the Suns are going to win 4-2.
Okay.
Nuggets and Trailblazers. Right now they're in the second quarter. Trailblazers are up 45-43. I honestly don't know. I think this one can go either way. And I
Okay.
think this can go to a game 7. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you who I want to proceed. I want to see Dame Dollar go to the next round. So I'm rooting for the Trailblazers, but I can see it going either way.
Okay. I hope it does. I hope both of those go 7, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing like a game 7, man. Nothing like a game 7. That would be awesome to watch. What you think, Mike? So you say your Lakers are done. What about the
Yeah.
Trailblazers?
Yeah, I think the Lakers are out of here. And like I said, I want to see Portland win as well, but Denver is going to be tough to beat twice in a row in that series. So I think Denver's going to win, but my heart is saying Portland.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And okay, what about the Mavericks and the Clippers? I'm the
Mavericks
Clippers.
up 3-2.
You know, I think if the Clippers had the hunger to them, I think they could win. But I just think there's a level of I don't know, collective arrogance that is somehow preventing them from being
Okay.
the team that everybody wants them to be. It's just something. It's just something there. It's just I don't know what it is. First, we thought maybe it's like Doc Rivers. Maybe he just can't manage those personalities. So he's at the 76ers. He's doing a great job with them, managing a lot of those big personalities.
Right.
So they got Ty Lue in there, and it's just okay, so maybe it's not the coach. What's going on? So I think the Mavericks are going to pull through on that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what that arrogance is. Luka Doncic, he's their arrogance. He is roasting them alive. When he plays well, they have no answer for him. And they got a little lucky when he kind of hurt his back and neck a little bit, and that kind of took the momentum off of him. So they were able to get a few games, but as we saw in Game 5, he was back, and they can't do anything with him. They're too little. Nobody could stand in front of him. He had 14 assists, so even when they did kind of try to double him or trap him, he made the right play. So, yeah, that's their arrogance. Luka Doncic is roasting them right now. With not that much help. I mean, whenever they win, Tim Hardaway Jr. plays well, and the others play well. Porzingis is kind of dicey, but yeah, man, they So let me ask you this: so will by the time this podcast air, or we might get it out a little bit before that, but will the Clippers be at the crib, or is that gonna go 7?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, what?
Dallas is winning the series.
But I'm saying, are the Clippers going to be out after the next game, or is it going to go 7 first?
Oh, that's tough to say because with the way Luka's playing, Luka's hooping, but it's what are you going to get from the other guys? You know, sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're missing wide open shots. So I could see them dropping one more, but I think in the game 7, I will put my money on Luka.
Okay.
So I think Dallas gonna win the series. I don't know if they're gonna win in 6 though.
Okay. I'm gonna go bold prediction. I'm gonna say all those games are gonna go to a game 7 because the playoffs been exciting. I want to keep that excitement going, so I'm just gonna kind of try to speak that into existence. That all those games we just talked about are gonna be a game 7. They're gonna be awesome, and may the best team win. But right now, my team my team to win it all anyway is the Milwaukee Bucks, but they have a big challenge because now they are going up against the Brooklyn Nets. That's like a finals matchup. Those two teams, I think, are going to go at it.
Yeah. This is a series I'm excited for. The Bucks are coming in hot. You know, they dominated the Heat, got a quick sweep on them. And the Nets, they dropped one game against the Celtics, but I mean, they're playing unbelievable. You got three guys basically averaging 100 points. But the thing is about the Nets, can they play defense?
That's true. Can
they stop Giannis? Because on paper, they have no answer for Giannis. Giannis should average 35, 40 points a game in this series easily. Who going to put on them? KD? Right. No. DeAndre Jordan? No. Blake Griffin? Like, he should average like 35 points a game. And they're going to need all of that because on the other end, you know, we know what those three guys could do. But can Drew Holiday... I think the question is, can Drew Holiday and Middleton slow down Kyrie and Harden enough? Because I think KD is going to get his buckets.
Of course.
KD is KD. But Drew Holiday is an excellent defender, and so is Chris Middleton. But can they slow them down, the other two stars down enough? And can Giannis eat enough to win this series? I think that's the real question here.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be a good one, though. But let me ask y'all a question. Is this season what you thought it would be? So we had the bubble last year. What do you guys think about this season? Is this a good rebound season from the bubble? What you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent season. I think this is, you know, coming out the era of, you know, the Cavs and the Warriors. It was kind of predictable. You knew who the teams were going to be. We kind of finally ended that era this year. It looks like LeBron's not going to be in the finals for the first time in forever. You know, since that one season he got hurt with the first season with the Lakers. So I think we got good competition. Like the Hawks beating the Knicks in the first round.
Yeah.
You know, Philly is looking good. Milwaukee, the Nets with this new super team. You know, you got Utah and Dallas and Phoenix, all these new up and coming teams. And it's, you know, this is one of the most competitive playoffs it's been. You know, even though we had some sweeps and some 4-1s, every game has been exciting. And the same thing for the West with these long series too.
Yeah, I agree. And this is now. Let's say if LeBron goes out, and like you say, because he's always been there for 10, 14 years, he just always seemed to be in the final. I think people will have. You ask 10 different people, you might get 10 different opinions about who's going to be the champ. And I think the teams, especially if LeBron and AD are out, because like I say, that's kind of static for people to say that because people love the Lakers. We know what their following is like. But if they're out, I think even the teams are going to be like, it's every man for himself. We don't know who could win this. So it's going to be 5 or 6 teams, 7 teams with a lot of hope. Like, if we're going to do it, this is our year to do it. And we're going to see who's going to be the cream to rise to the top. Because all the old guards are gone. All the old, people that were blocking you, Bron and Golden State, and like you were saying, they'll all be gone. So now for those superstar players who want to go to the next level and want to get their ring, this would be the season to do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I think that this has been the most exciting NBA season for a long time, to me personally, because it's not as predictable. Like, I even know, the past few seasons, some of the ratings have fallen for the NBA Finals and the playoffs because I think it was so predictable. It's just like, okay, I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then just watch the championship games.
Right.
Because you knew it was going to be LeBron, Steph Curry. LeBron, Steph Curry.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, as someone, as a fan who's not deep into basketball, it's like, why would I spend my time watching the playoffs, when I know who's going to be in the championship?
That's true.
But this season, it's like, man, what? LeBron may get kicked out of may lose in the first round? Right. Who's really going to come out of the East? What? Utah Jazz are showing out? This is very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your time to get it. If you're going to get one, it's your time to get it. Especially, like I said, when the Lakers go out. So no more old guard. LeBron and AD is out of the way. They got their rings. Now the new Jacks, this new breed of superstar, these new super talented guys like Embiid and Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell, all these guys, this is their opportunity to get that ring, to be a champion.
And I wanna end on something where we got to make some predictions.
Okay.
We know the two matchups coming up in the East, both 0-0 right now. Both of these games are this weekend. So let's talk about Milwaukee, Brooklyn. Who you got and how many games?
Okay. Yeah, let's just stick with those because we got to see how the other ones play out. So let's do predictions on those two games because they're already set.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and then Philly, Atlanta. Let's start with Milwaukee, Brooklyn. Who y'all got? How many games?
I got the Bucks in 6. I'm rolling with the Bucks all the way, baby. Midwest in the house.
I got the Nets in 6.
Okay. What about you, Mike Burr?
I got Bucks in 7.
Oh, whoa. You rolling with me for a change? Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
I think, and I'm putting all my chips on Giannis. I think he finally turned the corner. We saw him dominating the regular season. This is his series to win or lose to me. He has no excuse. There's nobody on the Nets that can remotely guard him. He should look like Shaq in 01.
Okay. Philly, Atlanta. Who you like? Philly, the number 1 seed. Atlanta's the 5 seed. Who you with?
Now, this series is interesting because of Embiid's injury.
True.
Yeah.
Like, if Embiid was healthy, I got Philly all day. Because I actually had them coming out the East, but I said if Embiid stays healthy. But the Hawks are tough. They're scrappy. Trae Young is a dog. He's not scared of anybody. He went to the Garden and won 4-1. I gotta go with the Hawks just because Embiid is not healthy. Okay. He might miss the first game. He might re-aggravate the injury. He might get the flu again. He might have food poisoning. Who knows what's going on with this guy? So
yeah,
I got the Hawks in 6.
Okay, April.
I'm gonna go with who I want to win.
Okay,
I think Mike is right. But I'm going to go with 76ers in 6 because I would like to see them win.
Well, we know Embiid has missed 2 seasons because of injury. You know, that was back in the trust the process days. He has a meniscus tear in his right knee. I don't know how serious that is. I heard that he can come back from that and play. But I think I'm going to roll with you, Mike B. You roll with me with Milwaukee. I'm going to go with Atlanta because he just always seems to have bad luck at the wrong time, and it's happening again. So I'm going to go with ATL, and I would like to see them win, too. They're a really fun team to watch.
Yeah, and the Hawks, obviously Julius Randle's a great player. He's not Joel Embiid when healthy, but they shut Julius Randle down in that last series.
True.
Yeah.
They got some bigs led by Clint Capella that play excellent defense, so if Embiid's not 100%, can you trust Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, in that series? I don't know. I think the Hawks are hot, so I think we're on the right side.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the show. You got anything else, April T?
That's all.
What about you, Mike Burr?
That's it.
All right, man. That's the show. Another great one. Please hit us up in the comments. Subscribe. Check us out on all social media. Tell a friend. Pass it on. The Barrage Sports Show is rocking and cracking, and all our winners, anybody who listen, anybody subscribe, anybody who hit the like button, anybody who drop a comment, you are a winner. We want to give you some peace, give you some love, enjoy the games, and you know how we do it. Mike Burr, drop the beat.